Hello and welcome back to M&A Ambassadors, another episode of Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional. Now, we've been doing a series on the 4 types of buyers and sellers, and we've gone through 3 types of those clients that we work with. We looked at the 2 clients on the left brain, which is the challenger and the organizer, and we looked at the engager profiles on the right brain. So today, let's dive straight into the 4th type of buyer and seller that you will encounter. Those buyers are called the responders. So let me draw our brain diagram to explain the same concept again. We got the front brain, which is aggressive, active, energetic people. You have the back brain, which you will find is more submissive, passive, slow and controlled in their movements. You've got the emotional people, which is on the right brain, which is a lot about relationships, feelings, and you've got the logic, which is more about practical and result oriented, which is on the left brain. Now, we've seen the challenger, the organizer, the engager, and today we are going to look at the responder. So the responder is essentially a back brain profile and a right brain profile. So because they are back brain, this means you will see people who are more slow in how they speak, softer in their tone of voice. The gestures are more controlled. They will not interrupt. They're very, very patient, tend to ask a lot of questions, but are not risk-taking at all. They're very, very easy people to work with because they are not dominating and forceful in their approach. But because they are right brain, you will see them as very friendly, very concerned, cooperative, loyal, supportive, team player kind of people. So these are the easiest people to talk to. They'll pick up the phone, they'll have good conversations with you. When they come and meet with you, they are not going to be aggressive. Even if they want to raise concerns, they'll do it in a very polite way. Chances are they will not even voice concerns which are in their head. So like the organizer which we saw before, you may have to ask them particular questions. So at any point, if you're doing a presentation, just stop and ask good open questions. How do you feel about what I just said? Don't say, what do you think about what I just said? Because that is left brain. And this client sits on the right brain. So how do you feel about what I said? Now you will see that they are very friendly, facially very expressive, but at the same time very sensitive and concerned. They don't like conflict, interpersonal conflict. So you don't want to come firm and hard at these kind of people. They will tend to back away. Even if they have doubts or concerns in their mind, they're not the type of person who would raise it on their own. So you would have to encourage them to open up. Now, when you're talking investors, particularly off-plan buyers, you will get no one. There's 0 investors in the responder category. Bulk of your investors will come from the diagonally opposite category, which is about 70% will come from here, and you'll get about 15% from the engagers and 15% from down here in the organizers. So in the responder category, why you don't get them is because they are low risk taking. They're slow in making decisions. They don't ask the tough questions. They're not very number and quantitative kind of people. Even if you do find a responder who comes as an investor, they'll probably bring with them someone who's from the challenger or an organizer who will do all the talking on their behalf. In the homeowner category, you will get responders. You could have husbands who are responders or wives who are responders. What you'll have to keep in mind is whenever you get a couple that comes, they will usually come from diagonally opposite quadrants. So if you get any one of the spouses who's going to be from the responder quadrant, it's almost virtually guaranteed that the other spouse is going to be the challenger, which we have already covered. Strong, tough, direct, to the point, value-driven, effectiveness, not afraid to challenge you, quantitative, understands numbers, big picture kind of people. Exactly the opposite of the warm, friendly, nice responder. So with the responders, what works for them is give them the time to think. Use words like we, let's, us, because they are collaborative people. Use their name often. Use third-party approaches. Ahmed, the reason why so many families like yours, are moving into this community is because That's what works for them. Okay, so you go third party, bring in families, references, take the name of the person, show a warm, friendly approach, tone down your aggression, slow down what you're saying, and encourage them to ask questions. Always get feedback from them by asking questions like, what do you feel about what I just said? Always show collaboration. Let's do this together. Let me help you by evaluating this on your behalf. They like to see people supporting them and helping them. That's your responder profile. Remember the name responder. They respond, they don't initiate. So if you sit with these kind of clients and you expect a decision to come from them, it's not coming. So your job will be to nurture them, nudge them into making these decisions. Families, you will get them for the secondary markets, for homes, but you will not get them in the investor quadrant. So I want you to go over this video a few times, understand this quadrant, because they're a very sensitive type of buyer. I want to thank you for your time with us on this episode of M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional.